Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. Shalom. Hotep. Peace, peace. Assalamu Allah. Peace to the gods and goddesses. I'm your brother in the struggle, brother Minister Alifullah. And today, family, I'm just going to come from the Holy Tome Message to the Black Man in America. We're going to start at page 186, which is titled Misunderstanding and Misinterpretation. I just want to give you a brief quote out here, a key point, if you will. Okay. The messenger tells us, and I quote him, "Let us remember that the scholars and scientists have not understood the true interpretations of the Bible and Holy Quran concerning the last messenger. They should meet and confer on this most important of all scriptures and come to the correct interpretation." Here we see that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad mentions that there is a correct and an incorrect interpretation of information or data. When we study history and we take the position that our individual study of ancient texts is correct, there's a lot of assumptions that go into that. Dangerous assumptions, ignorant assumptions, because history simply is not a science. It cannot withstand the scientific method. When it comes to our analysis of linguistics and studying the etymon, you just simply can't read something from long ago. We're talking 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 50,000 years ago, some may claim, and you interpret it in the year 2024 the way we think, our cultural norms, if you will. I mean, we can't say, I'm gonna give you a hypothetical. Let me give you an example. Imagine me making a YouTube video today, and I'd be like, man, I fell in love with my wife when I first seen her. Man, she was bad. And someone gets that data or that video 2,000, 5,000 years in the future, and they study, the computers analyze all this stuff, and they be like, yeah, back then they had Noah's Webster's dictionary. We cracked the code and we're able to translate the English language from the ancient text. And Alif said that his wife was bad. So what he meant was she was negative. She was evil. They missing the whole entire point because they're using their futuristic interpretations based on mistranslations, misinterpretation, misunderstanding, mistransliterations of ancient texts. And this is going on all over the planet Earth today with Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, the Acadia, Ancient Kemet, Black Egypt, Kush, Ethiopia, Nubia, the Sudan, Azania, South Africa, you name it. They're taking and interpreting ancient phenomena, saying that, oh, there's a hollow earth, there's some creatures inside of the core of the earth, there's a world in there. Or there's a world out there somewhere. Somewhere beyond the sun, moon, and stars. And that's a dangerous, slippery slope for us to travel down. Because what we're in effect doing is we're raising our don't know to a no. When you raise your level of ignorance to the level of an actual fact, not only is you misleading the people, you're actually perpetuating spookism, superstition, mythology, and ignorance. Because you cannot show and prove any of these claims. If there's a hollow earth, you can't go to it. You can't bring no hollow earth creature from the hollow earth onto the surface of the earth. You can believe whatever you want to believe. I mean, that's one thing about, the planet. You have the right to believe whatever you want to believe. Some people believe in Santa Claus teachings. Some people believe in Easter bunnies and leprechauns and unicorns, and there's angels flying around on top of the clouds, that there's a big red devil somewhere in the pit of hell, because they seen actual magma or hot lava coming out of the earth. So they're like, oh, they built a whole mythology, a mythos around that. Now, they'd be like, oh, I've read the ancient text, and the devil was cast from outer space, and he came down on earth, and God locked him up inside of the hell, and if you're not good, you're going to burn in hell. And people run with that. Other people intentionally know better, but they use that. They be like, well, we can use that to control that land. We can use that, be like, slaves, obey your masters. We can use that as population control. Now, so you have a lot of Easter bunny and fairy tales running around, masquerading in the form of actual knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But when you analyze it, deputize it, scrutinize it, you find it's really just an organized belief. It's another organized religion. Just another spooky concept. Now, and usually it's to take your common sense out your head, and at the same time pickpocket all your money out your pockets. And you go for the okie doke. You go for that mythology, that tricknology. That's why Muhammad considered tricknology to be like mythology. Mythology is rooted in true facts. There's always a kernel of truth that a myth is built upon. It's not that the myth is an out and out lie. It's not that a trick is based on some pseudoscience only. No, every trick has some real logic, psychology, some mathematics, sleight of hand. It's based on real sciences. But if you don't understand that there's a sponge at the bottom of the cup, when he pours the water in there and be like, da-da, and turn it upside down, you'd be like, wow, the water disappeared. Because if I put water in my cup and turn it upside down, it's going to come out. If he said abracadabra, you don't know Arabic. You can't speak Arabia, so you don't know what he's really saying. You don't, if you see him pull a white rabbit out of a seemingly empty black hat, in your conscious thoughts, rabbits don't come out of hats. But you'll applaud that tricknology. The masses of you will applaud David Copperfield or Houdini or a magician that'll come before you and be like, I'm going to pull a glass of water out of this seemingly empty hat. Abracadabra. And he tap it with his little wand, and you see this glass of water come out the hat. And you went to college. You studied biology. You studied chemistry. You know H2O. You, in your brain, on a logical level, you know better. But there's something innate in human nature about the unlimited realms of human potential, your ability to imagine things that they're playing with. And you'll just stand up and start clapping. You're clapping for the tricksters, the wizards, the warlocks. You're clapping for the grifters that's using tricknology to deceive you, to trick you straight out of the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of yourself. So that when someone else comes and be like, yo, water comes from some lake, stream, river, ocean, some nimbus cloud, it comes from atoms of hydrogen bonded with oxygen. They like, that's corny, that's boring. We don't like that. We're not going to share that. Now, tell us about the god Thor that's throwing lightning bolts from outer space. Tell us about, Neptune and the god Zeus or somebody, coming with some magical, supernatural stuff. That's what people really are attracted to. They attracted to gossip, car crashes. That's part of the human psyche. And, when you hear it, even though the person don't have no empirical evidence to show and prove it, they can show and tell it real good. So white folks be like, Elvis Presley is alive. Black folks be like, Generations later, they be like, Tupac ain't died. He did a Machiavelli move. Tupac is hiding over Cuba somewhere. He faked his own. And people really believe Tupac is still alive. There are people that really believe Elvis Presley is still alive. Now, what I mean, and it's like it's a concept that doesn't have empirical evidence or proof. But today, tomorrow, in their own lifetime, they will never show and prove it. They get you to believe it. They'll tell you about it. They be like, oh yeah, Jesus coming back. You know what I mean? The Mahdi gonna come get you. The mother plane gonna come save you. The messenger's coming back. And you believe it. And you be like, what is the reality? What is the al-haq? What is the reality is you're not going to see none of them in your lifetime. Your children's children will not see any of them in their lifetime. But generations from now, people will still believe the exact same lie. The messenger said in Muhammad Speaks newspaper, it's a lie. Stop believing in technology, family. It's a big old B-lie-F. It's a belief. Don't confuse your beliefs with knowledge. The messenger said this, and I'm going to leave y'all with this. He said, and our Savior has arrived in 1974. He said, we can believe that there's an airplane outside on the doorstep. But once we open that door and look, we now know there is no airplane outside on that doorstep. Stop waiting on that mystery God to come and do for you what you must do for yourself. It's time to wake up and get real. The struggle continues.